Hi there, folks. I don't know how many of you like drinking kombucha, but it is one of my favorite healthy drinks to have. And I like brewing my own because it's so much less expensive than buying the bottles in the store. Now, mind you, I do really like some kombucha bought at the store. They have so many different flavors. And I used to not know how to flavor my own. And then I discovered our cold brew pitcher. This Pampered Chef pitcher comes with an infuser, okay, and it makes really smooth cold brew coffee that apparently is not bitter. I'm not a coffee drinker yet. I may have to try it in here, but if you're a cold brew coffee fan, apparently this is made for you. You can change out the filter basket. You may recognize it as our old tea infuser, and the tea infuser fits on the bottom if you wanted to do brew your teas instead. But I'm going to be using it today for my flavored kombucha. Okay, so what I have done is I brew my own kombucha, and what kombucha requires is a SCOBY. Now, at the bottom here, you will see this mushroom-like looking thing at the bottom. And as you feed the SCOBY, much like you would feed a sourdough starter, it keeps growing. And you can take a part of it and start a new pot of kombucha. This one is still okay for one more brew. I don't need to separate it just yet. But with that starter, since I finished drinking this pot, I've made up a new batch of tea, sugar, and water. And what I do is I bring here, I brought 2 gallons of water to a boil. Once it's boiled, I take it off the heat, and I take a really nice black and green loose leaf tea combination. I put it into my my little muslin tea bags, and I steep that for 25 minutes. After that loose leaf tea has been steeped for 25 minutes, I take the bags out, and then I put in the sugar. Now, this is not a sweet drink. The sugar is converted by the SCOBY, and it becomes a healthy fermented drink, much like you think of fermented foods like yogurts or sauerkraut or all those things that are filled with those probiotics and prebiotics. It's really, really nurturing and healing to the body, and I love it for that reason. Now, SCOBY stands for the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and that's similar to what would be the healthy bacteria that I was talking about in the pro and prebiotics. So when this is low, I pour the tea in, and then let's see if I can do this without spilling. And then I keep it in a warm place. I cover it up, and I keep it not hot. You don't want this to get, you want it to be around 85 degrees. I have actually a little seed starting mat that I plug in, and that's what it sits on. But really, if you have a warm place near a radiator or on top of the stove or on top of the refrigerator or something that has a little bit of heat, it will sit there. It takes, for my liking, about 10 to 12 days to reach the ferment level that I prefer. My husband Daniel really, really, really likes it stronger, and it becomes more vinegar-like. I personally don't like it that strong, so keep an eye on your kombucha to get it to the strength you like. If you're still tasting sweet, it probably needs a little bit longer. But when I go to the store, I always buy flavored kombucha. And I don't particularly like the kombucha just fresh by itself. I do sometimes, but I prefer a flavor. My favorite are ginger and mango. So once it's fully brewed, I will pour a little bit of, I have a morning blend juice that has mango and different fruits in it. I put a little bit in a cup and fill the rest with kombucha, and I have my flavored kombucha. But I also really like ginger and lemon kombucha. So I take some frozen ginger because it's easiest to grate when it's frozen. I take our microplane zester and I just zest up some ginger flavor, to this kombucha. I'll show you. So it's just really nicely freshly grated. I am going to put this in the cold brew pitcher. Okay, and I'm going to put it in that infusion basket. Okay, and then I'm going to also grate up some lemon zest. Now, if I am using the peel of the lemon, I always make sure I have an organic lemon. I don't want any of those pesticides or chemicals going into anything that I'm eating. So because it's the skin, I'm going to just zest some of that lemon here. And again, the fresh lemon and the fresh ginger make this taste so yummy and good. And it just adds that little something extra. So when you've got that nice zested lemon peel, you just put that into the pitcher as well. And what's going to happen is you're going to pour the already fermented kombucha inside. And I'm just going to fill that up. I'm going to put the lid on it. And tomorrow at this time, the kombucha itself is going to have that really lovely flavor, but I'm not going to get all those particles in it because that basket can just be pulled out, and I will, I'll have the little pieces, but they won't be in what I'm drinking. So that's it.